Our city has been struck by yet another gun violence tragedy.
2 people are now dead and 4 others injured after a shooting in downtown Louisville overnight. LMPD confirming the second death in an update this afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Connor Steffen. It all happened outside the Southern Restaurant and Lounge just after 3 this morning. Police say when officers arrived, they found 6 people who had been shot outside the club. 1 man was pronounced dead on the scene. The other 5 were taken to the hospital where another man would later die. The other 4 who were shot are expected to survive. Another person was injured due to a fall while trying to escape the shooting. Police say they are still looking for suspects and that there were several hundred people outside the restaurant.
There were 200 to 300 people at that location when this shooting occurred. This is our community. We cannot do this alone. We need the public's assistance when they see something to say something.
A witness who was inside at the time told us off camera that she heard 2 shots. She said she got knocked down and then people started running over her. The city now taking action, calling for major changes to the city's nightlife. WHAS11's Alexis Jones and photojournalist Elijah McKenzie show us some of those proposed changes.
As you can see, Market Street is no longer blocked off after a shooting happened here this morning outside a Southern Restaurant and Lounge. Though all victims are now accounted for, officials are still searching for a suspect, and they're calling on the public for help.
Your information is critical and will save more lives.
City leaders add they're dedicating as much resources as possible to the investigation. In the meantime, Southern Lounge will remain closed. Alcohol and Beverage Control says it reached out to state officials Sunday to terminate the lounge's license, prohibiting owners from operating again.
It's called an emergency suspension order based on the violence that has taken place. And that process takes a little bit of time, but LMPD is going to send the reports over to the state officials, which will start the clock. And that would result in an immediate revocation of that license.
Mayor Craig Greenberg says they've worked to close the business since July 10th after receiving several complaints, including loud noise, customers blocking traffic, and parking on sidewalks. But unfortunately, he says, they were unable to shut it down before lives were taken. In Louisville, Alexis Jones, WHAS11 on your side.
Police are asking for the public's assistance as they continue to investigate. Anyone with information is encouraged to call the anonymous tip line. That's 574-LMPD. You can also use the online portal. Right now, several in the community are gathered at Crescent Hill Presbyterian, an interfaith group hosting a vigil to honor the victims and their families, but also hosting conversations on how they can invoke positive change in the community. Tonight on the Night Team, we're hearing from them their ideas and what they want to see in the future. All right, KSP is now investigating after a woman was killed and a man injured in a crash in Grayson County. Troopers say Elizabeth Roof was traveling on Salt River Road when she didn't stop at the intersection of William Thomas and Byway. Roof then crashed into an SUV. She was taken to an Owensboro hospital where she later died. Meanwhile, the driver of the SUV is recovering at Norton Hospital. Earlier this week, we got new insight into the moments Metro Police rescued a woman chained to the floor inside a Park Hill home. Body camera video released by police shows what happened that day. And we do want to warn you, this video could be distressing.
Go down? Yeah. I got a bunch of loose. Which windows to kick out?
People living in the area called police when they heard a woman screaming from the window of a house on Bowling Avenue. Officers tried to break down the door, but say every entrance was barricaded. You can see here, the woman busted out the second-story window. Officers climbed a ladder to that window, and what they found inside was horrific.
Where's the ticket key on there?
He's got it on his feet. And he's got it on his feet.
The woman you could hear apologizing to officers had a chain around her neck. It was bolted to the floor. Officers used a hatchet to break the chain, got her out of the room, and used bolt cutters to get the chain off. Police arrested 37-year-old Moises May in connection with the incident. He's facing several charges, including kidnapping, wanton endangerment, and assault. He's expected in court next week. Sports betting in the Commonwealth starts in less than 2 weeks. And tomorrow, you can go ahead and pre-register on eligible mobile apps. Several online platforms are approved for sports betting, including DraftKings, FanDuel, Caesars, and the newly acquired Penn Sports Interactive. While the legal age to gamble in person in Kentucky is 18, most online platforms enforce a 21 and up age limit.
A lot of these service providers have indicated to us that it's going to be 21 and up. Even though we have the 18 and up ability, it seems that most, if not all, are going to head down that 21 and up route.
Okay, so here is a timeline for mobile sports betting. You can make an account starting tomorrow. You'll be able to load money onto that account starting September 7th. You can then make your first bet on September 28th. Indiana's near total abortion ban, originally supposed to start August 1st, is now in effect. The state Supreme Court decided not to rehear arguments about the ban from the UCLA. That decision allowed the new restrictions to go into place immediately. Right now, abortions are only allowed in Indiana in cases of rape or incest up to 10 weeks and up to 20 weeks for deadly fetal anomalies or to protect the life of the mother. An ACLU executive says this law impacts not just women, but doctors too.
The law carries criminal penalties. The law carries the potential of a doctor losing their license. This is an extreme law that inappropriately intrudes politicians into private medical decisions.
The new law also requires abortions to only be performed in hospitals or hospital clinics. Organizations like Planned Parenthood can no longer provide them. Anti-abortion groups have spoken out in support of the law.
The closing of abortion clinics is a major victory for unborn babies. And we're sending a message to the rest of the nation that when we choose to stand together in love and compassion for pregnant mothers and unborn babies, we can save lives, we can improve lives, and we can help build a national culture that values and respects every life.
Indiana Planned Parenthood clinics stopped performing abortions earlier this month. The organization says it will now use a navigation team to help women travel out of state.